Here's the top 5 things that are going to make your Chapter 7 an absolute nightmare and possibly worse. Who's going to know? Our good friend Ted is here, and he's going to show and kind of demonstrate what these things are, and then I'll explain.
My cousin Tony had a car that wasn't protected in bankruptcy. Maybe, allegedly, he listed that for a little bit less than what it was really worth.
Ted's advice is crazy. So number 5, do not lowball the value of your property. What Ted is suggesting here is that his friend or whoever he's talking to schedule property for less than what it's worth. That is a huge no-no, and it will only get you into trouble.
Maybe, allegedly.
I don't care what the item is. I don't care if it's a house. I don't care if it's a car. I don't care if it's something that's not registered to you. You never lowball.
Nobody's going to know about that.
Lowballing the value of an asset, if it's done intentionally, it's fraud. This will also just open you up to the trustee contesting the valuation on your schedules and statements. You don't want any of those problems. Put down what the fair market value actually is of your assets. Number 4, look at Ted.
So what you got to do before you file is you got to freaking spend those credit cards. You just got to max them out. Just go get a TV, new tracksuit, new chain. Seriously, just party it up.
Ted has some horrible advice here. Do not run up credit card debt before you file bankruptcy. If you do that, more than likely, the lender is going to object to their debt being discharged in your bankruptcy. So that debt will end up surviving the discharge, the fresh start that you get, and then you'll be stuck with it. So don't do that. That's a big red flag no-no.
You got to pay Tony back for that thing that he did for you before you file. Otherwise, he's going to be listed as a creditor, and Tony won't like that. Believe me, he's not a guy you want to list as a creditor in a bankruptcy. Believe me.
Number 3, don't pay back friends or family or anyone you know money that you owe them before you file bankruptcy. When you file Chapter 7, you're telling your unsecured creditors, I'm going to get a discharge and I'm not going to pay you. However, if you have money and you pay a friend or family member who technically is a creditor at the expense of all these other creditors, that's not fair to all the creditors. So what will happen is that transaction, that payment that you made to the friend or family member will be unwound or reversed. And you don't want that to happen. That's going to be hard on you. It's going to be hard on your friend or family member. And it might be a little embarrassing as well.
Yeah, before you file, just transfer that one thing over to me that you got and nobody's going to know about it. And then when you're done with this whole deal, just transfer it back.
So number 2, don't transfer property before you file bankruptcy. Whether this is done intentionally or unintentionally, if there's anything of value that you've transferred out of your name within a certain period of time, essentially that transaction could be reversed and whatever that item is could be sold and the proceeds distributed to creditors. So you've transferred anything out of your name before you file bankruptcy or into someone else's name, you need to tell your bankruptcy lawyer immediately.
I'm just speaking in hypotheticals here. You really don't have to list everything.
So number 1, no is don't hide assets.
Technically, there could be some things, let's say something that doesn't have a registration or a title, for example.
Ridiculous. You hide an asset and you file bankruptcy, it's going to be horrible. You could go to jail. The asset will be taken. You'll be denied your discharge. There's all these horrible things that can happen if you hide an asset while filing bankruptcy.
Who's going to know?
That is just some major trouble that nobody wants any part of. Don't do it. So there you have the top 5 things that are going to cause just crazy pain if you file Chapter 7 bankruptcy and do these before you file it. If anybody tells you to do any of these things, you probably don't want to listen to them. And they're probably not a very good friend if they're telling you should. Thanks so much for stopping by. Please like and subscribe.
You know what you got to do.
Please go to usbankruptcyhelp.com and bookmark that page. Thank you guys.